Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, I want to take you to Phoenix, Arizona. My prayers and condolences go out to the family of Lauren Heike, taken from this world way too soon. Young woman going on her daily trail walk next to the apartment she lived in, she was savagely attacked by a lunatic. She managed to fight him off, but she would later die from her injuries. Here is the story of Lauren Heike. Rest in peace, Lauren. Taken from this world way too soon. On Saturday, April 29th, 2023, around 10:50 in the morning, officers were called about an injured person in the desert near Libby Street and Mayo Boulevard. This would be just south of Loop 101. Once they got there, officers and firefighters found what was described as an adult female victim in a desert area outside of the nearby neighborhood. The victim is Lauren Heike, a 29-year-old esthetician who was a local there, and she was well known to her community. She was always walking this trail. She was killed on this hiking trail after being stabbed 15 times in the back and chest. She managed to fight off her attacker before running away. She would later collapse and die. And this is the trail where she was found. And this is the area where her body was found. To give you kind of an overview, Lauren Heike, only 29 years old. She was found dead on the Reach 11 trail on April 28th, with police launching a week-long manhunt for her killer before they would actually catch up to him. She fought for her life and she managed to escape after she was randomly attacked by the alleged killer Zion Teasley, who, this was according to police. Police are the one that's saying that Zion did this and they tied it to him through DNA. That is what Phoenix police are sharing. Later, Heike, she would collapse and die from the severe stab wounds, and her escape may have been a factor as to why it took more than 24 hours for her body to be found. You see, authorities, they believe that she was chased through or over a barbed wire fence, and Teasley, who he's an ex-Marine and convicted felon, is now been charged with her murder. And he is set at a $1 million bond. The prosecutor, they try to get a $2 to $3 million bond, but the judge, just $1 million is probably good enough in this situation. He's not gonna be let out from what we can tell. And we're finding out that this guy has a record, a serious crime that some people would ask, why was he out of jail? This guy has taken so many plea deals. It's like, how is he out? Now, Phoenix Homicide Lieutenant James Hester, he revealed that Heike managed to fight off the attacker and get away from him before she died. He said, I believe she fought him off and she was able to get away, but her injuries were too severe for her to continue. That's what he said at a press conference yesterday on Cinco de Mayo. He said she likely didn't know Teasley, who was accused of killing Heike in a premeditated attack and stabbing her 15 times. And when we stop and we think about this, she was going on a trail that she felt she knew very familiar. She felt that, she doesn't have to worry about anything. She goes there all the time. But yet, she does have to worry because some lunatic will be out there hiding savagely, waiting. I don't know if he's scoped this out previously. We don't really have all of this information just yet. I'm sharing what we do know at this time. We do know this dude may not, he just was released just this past November of 2022. And he has and I'm going to share even more, but he has a criminal history that's like, should he have been out? That's a serious question because this is happening all too often. Now, granted, you pay for your crime, you serve your time. Okay, I get it. But my gosh, when is enough when it's like, my gosh, this guy has such a criminal record, he's going to be back and be back and be back. I don't know what the right answer is. But another young life has been lost. Another family has been broken. When will it stop? That's the question, at least that I have. You see, officers, they're still investigating whether Heike was sexually assaulted before the murder, but it is likely she was not. That's according to police. And these court documents reveal that Teasley was captured on surveillance footage following Heike for some time on April 28th. Now, her body was found on the 29th. She is said to have been killed on the 28th. Teasley was then caught on camera returning to the area where her body was discovered and climbing back over the fence. And this probable cause affidavit also revealed that the suspected killer had recently been fired from his job at a nearby sports store for being aggressive to female employees and stealing. And what helped lead police to Teasley is that his DNA was found on a shoe that Lauren discarded as she attempted to scale the barbed wire. And so after that, police were able to track Teasley down. And they were able to say, hey, his DNA is in the system because of other criminal acts that he has committed in the past. Again, we'll dive into that a little bit. But they were able to track him down because of a sample in their system from a prior felony conviction. You're looking at the trail that she literally walked down thinking, I have nothing to worry about. And truth is, we all know, I shouldn't speak for her. I'm sure she was probably alert because we all know we have to be careful. So my apologies to the family. I caught myself there. I don't really know what she was thinking, but it looks pretty safe, right? This is a trail she goes on every day. But this day would be different. This day would change the course of her whole family's life and change her life in a drastic way. And so, at first, they wanted the answers. They didn't know. Again, it was a week before they tracked them down. And police, they're not going to give much information until they know. But she fought for her life. She actually got away from him. But being stabbed 15 times is not something that you can easily recover from. Unless ambulance is on the spot right away, then maybe you have a chance. But thanks to her fighting him and her not giving up and leaving a trace behind, they were able to track him down. And as I shared, Teasley was released from prison in November of 2022. after being sentenced to 3 years in prison after he pled guilty to robbery with a deadly weapon, disorderly conduct, and robbery in June of 2020. And so, if it is not even June of 2023, he did not serve his 3 years. And you know what that means. He would not have been out to take her life. I am a big fan of recouping second chances, third chances. I get it. People make mistakes. But my gosh, when you see how many times this guy has been in trouble. He has been charged with breaching his probation as well as 1 count of first-degree murder, meaning he could face the death penalty if he is found guilty in a court of law for Lauren's murder. Now, the convicted felon, he dropped out of the Marine Corps, hit boot camp in San Diego after just 4 months, first entering the training in March of 2019. Now, I don't really know. So I think I'm when you look at the timeline from this, he was released from prison in November after being sentenced to 3 years because he pled guilty to robbery, disorderly conduct, and robbery in June of 2020. But he first entered training into the Marine Corps in March of 2019. Now, a Marine Corps spokesman confirmed that he had separated from the training in June of 2019, and his arrest documents confirmed that he was not on active duty. So, was he incarcerated while he tried to get in the Marines? Because if he first entered training in March of 2019 and he's released in June of 2020 and he was serving a 3-year sentence, help me with this timeline if anyone has answers. This is a fresh story, so I'm sorry if I'm sharing something that may not be accurate. I think I am accurate as far as everything that I've done some research on, going back to when this first story broke a week ago. Now, Lauren, she suffered 15 stab wounds to her upper body, and she had defensive wounds because she fought for her life, and she had the defensive wounds on her hands. And you can see by this map by Daily Mail where Reach 11 Trail is. And you can see where Lauren's apartment is. And you can also see that she was found near the Mayo Clinic Hospital on the very popular trail that she visited almost daily. And so now her body was more found probably closer to 10:50-ish. It looks like it was after 10:30, but probably around 10:50. And Teasley would be arrested Thursday, May 4th at 6:30 p.m. And you can see the vicinity. He was arrested. His home is not far from Reach 11 Trail. Literally. And so did he see her previously? We don't really know. We do not know. He was spotted on camera running. And so I captured the still picture from the 17-second, but he was identified from surveillance footage by his probation officer as well as his former employer. They told officers that he was recently terminated for being aggressive toward female employees as well as stealing from the store. And phone data also placed Teasley in the same area as Lauren before her death, moving in the same direction as the footage. And his employer, he did confirm that he carries a pocket knife, which police say this pocket knife is consistent with the weapon in this crime. Now, when he was arrested by officers, he said, "There's no freaking way I'm here for a SEX crime. I haven't been with anyone for a long time." That's exactly what he said when he was interviewed. That's according to the affidavit. The probable cause affidavit, it also stated that during his interview, he spoke about growing up as a Christian and his internal struggle with his own sexuality. And it added Zion, whatever, I don't know how he pronounces it. Zion was concerned about the salvation of his soul due to his thoughts, meaning that he was having bad thoughts before he did this. He was already having demons hurting and feeding on him to get him. So he's admitting in this interview he's got a problem. He's suffering. He has issues. And I can assure you, you're going to hear about it, I'm sure, in the court. If you follow this case, you're going to hear about because he's saying right here in this interview, his defense attorney will find a way to use this, assuming he doesn't plead and, it avoids trial. If he pleads to something to avoid trial, because again, if he goes to court, if he's found guilty, a lot can weigh in on this, but they do have the death penalty if he's found guilty. And he's facing first-degree murder, which means premeditated, right? So, this is a little ways to go, but these are the early stages of this heinous act. So he's already helping himself in a way that he sounds like he's got problems. He sounds like he's got some mental problems. And we know that, people do suffer from mental disease. And I also believe that people suffer from something they cannot control, like him, the urges to do something bad. He said that he was concerned about the salvation of his soul due to his thoughts, the things that he is thinking about. And he even identifies himself. Yeah, that's me. He identifies himself. That's me in the photo. That's me in the video. So they obviously got the right guy here. But there's going to go to the mental health route. What made him do this? He has been suffering something we don't know. This is early on, my friends. And so he did identify himself as being the man in the footage before telling officers that he recognized Lauren from the news and wanted to look like her. Why would he make that comment that he wanted to look like her? Now, he claimed that he was walking to a nearby movie theater and admitted to officers that he knew Lauren was attacked but struggled to admit she was murdered. He would not say that. Now, when asked if he planned to kill Lauren, he said, "I am definitely not the person who plans to kill another person. If I was going to do something like that, it wouldn't be premeditated." And during his first court appearance, he was giving a $1 million cash bond for the violation, but he was remanded into custody with no bond in relation to the murder charge. And so even though the prosecutor, whoever, was asking for $2 to $3 million cash bond, I'm correcting myself, it looks like he did not get any bond. He is in custody with no bond. The $1 million cash bond violation sounds like because, again, he was on parole. His probation officer identified him. Yep, that is Zion. And so prosecutors, they told the court that there was photographic evidence linking him to the crime, adding that people who knew him identified him as the person in the surveillance footage released by police. Hello, his employer. Of course they're going to know him very well, and maybe even other people that they spoke to that has not been identified. right? Now, a chilling clip showed a lone figure sprinting on the trail coming from the direction of where Lauren's body was found. And as you can see, this is that still image of that clip. And lawyers, they confirmed that DNA evidence linked him to the crime, as well as phone evidence and circumstantial evidence as well. And so then he was arrested, and so there will be more court. The court did hear that several people he works with knew he had a knife, which they say was consistent with the murder weapon. And prosecutors, they also confirmed that he was a flight risk, as he already bought a plane ticket with the intention to leave for Detroit on Thursday evening, May 4th, the day before Cinco de Mayo. Now, Teasley, he remained silent during the 10-minute hearing, only speaking to confirm that his name is Zion Teasley and his date of birth. That was all that he would confirm to in his day in court. And so, really, at the end of the day, he appeared in court. Now we wait to find out what will happen next in this case. Will it end up going to court? Because truth is, this guy has a lot of problems. There is no secret about that. He was accused of several counts of kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, and burglary in the third degree, in this case alone. Now, previously, there were 10 charges that were dismissed after he struck a plea deal with prosecutors, showing how much this guy has been in trouble multiple times. And unfortunately, this young girl who had so much future ahead of her came across this bad man. Now, Teasley, he served 16 months in the Red Rock Correctional Facility in Eloy before being released in November of 2022. He would be arrested at his home, as you can see right here, in Scottsdale, less than a mile from the trail where Lauren's body was found. And speaking before his court appearance, Sergeant Melissa Solis, she said that detectives are serving a search warrant at his apartment, and he was taken into custody this evening at around 6:30 p.m. That was May 4th. She says, right now, he is the person that we believe to be responsible or in connection to the murder of Lauren Heike. Rest in peace, Lauren. And again, there was like a whole week of we want answers. What happened to our girl? What happened to this young girl? And so there was even a reward out there where they were like, this is a man that was seen on camera and we are looking for this guy. Now, granted, he was already on police's radar, but they had to get concrete evidence. As you know, they only want one shot at this. Young 29-year-old Lauren Heike taken from this world way too soon. And the search police, they did a great job. And the parents were very thankful that what the police did and how fast they took charge. And, you know, with the detectives, there's still more to go through here. There's still more that they have to finalize and talk to more people. And as I said, you know, Sergeant Melissa Solis, she said, we believe we have the right guy. And she says, this is going to take a while for our detective to sift through all this evidence, process it, collect it, and hope to have some more answers later. With this man taken into custody, I can tell you that he is the same person that was shown on the video clip that we shared with you all a few days ago. This is when they were trying to find any answers to who may know who this person is. And She even continues, with this information, we hope that the community tonight can rest a little easier knowing that this person is off the streets. Now, Lauren, she had previously worked as an esthetician for Admire Medical Aesthetics in Washington before she moved to Arizona. And Teasley, this charge comes a day after Lauren's father, Jeff Heike, paid tribute to his daughter, saying, "She was my little girl. I'm really going to miss her." And I pray that the family finds justice. And police say that Heike, she was found to have trauma to her body. And according to a person living in the area, it was his wife who discovered Heike's body while she was walking her dog. They were familiar with Heike because she hiked the trail often and lived in an apartment complex nearby. And that's what I mean, that, she was known to people, literally, while as this guy was known to many as a criminal. And you can see the heartbreak. Lana Heike, for those of you who have not heard, it is with such deep sadness that we share that our sweet, beautiful Lauren has passed away. We are at a loss for words, and our grief is tremendous, but we also realize that our friends and family are grieving with us. Our memories of Lauren's kind, beautiful heart are comforting us right now. We get peace knowing she was very happy, loving her life, and dreaming of the future she was creating. She loved us, and she knew how much we loved her. Our sun rose and set around her. Ryan and Hannah are with us, and we are leaning on each other. Thank you to everyone who has reached out to us. We haven't responded to you, but we are reading your messages and appreciate every one of your kind words and prayers. Please continue to send prayers, and when you think of our precious baby, I hope she makes you smile. That's the type of person Lauren Heike was. And, even friends are pouring out to social media. They are beyond heartbroken that this would happen to her. Her family, they just don't know how they're going to move forward, but they know they must do their best. And they're just happy that the other part of justice can begin, so that they can get justice for their young one, their sister, their niece, their family. Everyone is struggling, right? The case history. Records show that Zion, he robbed 2 Circle K stores 6 times, and that an employee even transferred to a different location because of how often he did this. That's how much this guy has affected people. And you can see his case history. Unreal how many times this guy, burglary, armed robbery with deadly weapon. Now, how in the world was he not? And kidnap, disorderly conduct, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, robbery, kidnap. What? I don't understand how this guy has not found, how do they not have more to get on this guy? Literally, it's hard to understand how, wow, right? Wow. And, her mom is literally, we don't want to finish this story with Zion. He is going to get what he deserves. The heartbroken mother, though, of our Arizona woman who was found dead, she is breaking down, and she even says that the family is at a loss for words as they grapple with this gruesome slaying. But she is relieved that the alleged killer had been nabbed before he could inflict more violence. Now, Lauren's mom, again, Lana, who paid the tribute through that Facebook post that I shared with you. She thanked authorities for their work in securing the arrest of the ex-Marine Zion Teasley. And she says, "We are breathing a sigh of relief this morning knowing another family will not have to walk in our shoes because of this person." And she says, although this doesn't bring our Lowie back, that's how they refer to her in a loving way. Lowie, Lowie back. And the journey ahead is sad and daunting. We are eternally grateful for the love and support we've received from the moment she went missing. One day before he was taken into custody, Lana, she shared a gut-wrenching tribute remembering her daughter. And that's where I shared, we are at a loss for words and our grief is tremendous. And we hope that they can find peace. And they can find a way to keep her memory alive. A lot of times when this happens, something positive comes out of it because they want to keep her memory alive. And, I'm sure that Admire Medical had something nice to say, but when they were reached by phone, they did decline to comment on the case. I'm going to just say I'm sure that they're heartbroken to know what happened to her. Why they didn't want to say anything, we don't know. I'm not going to speak for them, but she was previously employed at Admire Medical Aesthetics in Silverdale. And the Medi-Spa, they did write on Facebook, Lauren touched the hearts of many with her kind and sweet nature, and her beloved clients always looked forward to seeing her. And, it's cases like this that make it hard for anyone to understand why anyone would do this. And we say rest in peace to this wonderful girl who was taken from this world way too soon. And we only pray and hope that her family can find justice in this world that we all have to be careful for. And even when this news broke, Phoenix Police was reminding the community to stay safe, stay alert, and always be aware of your surroundings. I'm kind of summing it up, but that's exactly what they were saying. The same thing that I basically say every time. Be careful, my friends. I don't know how she could have prevented this. I don't know if she had if she had mace on her or didn't have mace on her. We don't know. But we don't know what was going through this guy's mind. There are a lot of sick people out there. And I want to say, please, when you're out there, be alert. Be careful, my friends. This is a crazy world we live in. Rest in peace to this beautiful soul taken from this world way too soon. Until next time, my friends, be safe, be alert. Peace.